Welcome to episode number 55 of the Energy Center podcast. This is Dana Teresa, the metaphysical mentor, and really mentorship is what I love and what I'm here to offer. And so I hope in some way, as you listen to the show, as you listen to past and future episodes, that I might be a mentor or a guide for you in some way, in some form, as you move down your path. Beautiful human, beautiful soul. So 5, that's the episode we're in right now. 5 plus 5 equals 10, and then 1 plus 0 is 1. 1 is the number of new beginnings, stepping onto a new path, moving in a new direction. And 5, the numerology of 5 is the number of adventure, of expansion. And so when you bring together all that essence, all the energy of that number 55, it is really about stepping on a new path, starting a brand new adventure. And so we're going to see what comes through on our adventure together here today. So let me start by saying I've been really going with the flow with these episodes lately. I've been seeing the energy, what's coming into my field. I've been following the breadcrumbs as far as what source, the universe, spirit wants me to talk about on this show. And the energy that kept coming in was love, and the fiery energy of love. Sometimes when we think about love, because we're not used to thinking about it, or loving yourself is weird, or it sounds so cliche sometimes, right? Just love yourself and everything will be okay. And while there's truth to that, there is absolutely more to that as well. And so love can kind of get a bad rap. Love can be a little bit boring, like, oh, she's just telling me to love myself again. But love is really the new pathway. Love is really the next stage of our experience here on earth and what our souls are transcending into more and more. And so as I was feeling into, okay, today I'm going to talk about love, and it just so happens to be episode 55, automatically the next thing that came in that really sparked my interest was 5D and 5D consciousness. And another thing I really love to do on this show is to bring spirituality down to earth. And so oftentimes there's a lot of these phrases, or there's these nuances to spirituality, or paradigms that are coming in that maybe not everyone understands, or they're like, what is she talking about? 5D, what does that mean, right? And so it felt really important for me today to explain and talk about what is 5D, what is 5D consciousness. So first, let's start by talking about our 3D experience here on Earth. We are on Earth. Remember when you went to those movies when you were little and you wore those 3D glasses and it looked like things were coming out of the screen at you and you could like touch them and hold them, right? That is a 3D experience. And we live here on the 3D realm. There's 3 dimensions. So it's not just linear like the 1D. It's not just 2. It's like 1 and 1 comes together to make 3. That's how our physical existence works, right? The sperm and the egg come together to make another human. And 3D has to do a lot with the physical, with matter. 3D can feel very like heavy and dense because it is heavy and dense. There's this thing called gravity here on Earth that like weighs us down. And so it's all about matter. It's all about the physical body and having this physical experience on our 3D planet, on Earth. And that also coincides with our emotions and our experiences as humans. So the emotions that humans oftentimes get stuck in, get weighed down by, are those dense, heavy emotions like fear and anger and grief and sadness, right? When you feel into those emotions, they feel really heavy. And those are very correlated with this 3D experience. Because fear is what has kept humans alive for millennia and millennia and millennia. Fear is actually really important to our survival. Except as humanity has expanded so much that we are almost like taking over this planet, there's really not so much of a need anymore for these dense, heavy emotions like fear. These survival tactics that we have, some parts of the world absolutely still need them. And in our 3D Western world, do we really need to be as fearful as we've been? Do we really need to hold on to these dense, heavy emotions? Or can we release them? Can we let them go? And so 5D, let's talk about 4D just for a moment, because that always like sparks an interest to me. But like, how are we going to bypass right over 4D? 4D is the transition. 4D is moving from the 3D to the 5D. And then the 5D, the fifth dimension, is really that higher state of consciousness. It is unity consciousness. It is recognizing and understanding that we are all connected and we are not separate. So separation breeds fear and vice versa. Fear breeds separation. When you're afraid of other people in your life, right, you're going to avoid them. You're going to not want to go by them. So you're going to keep yourself separate from them. And that's going to propagate more of that anxiety, more of that worry, more of that anger. And in 5D consciousness, we're realizing that we're all one. We're all connected. We're all the same and we're all different at the same time. And what's really at the foundation of that, of this 5D consciousness, is love. Love. Love is the building block from which we can ascend. And for some souls are going to want to hang out for the rest of their lives and many other lifetimes in the 3D realm. That 3D vibration can feel really comfortable when it's all you've ever known, even though it doesn't make logical sense, right? Like, why would I want to be afraid all of the time? Why would I want to be angry all the time? Except when you start to experience a different vibration, when you start to feel and understand that things can be different and you can elevate your energy, then you start to realize and feel that maybe a higher vibration is what my soul truly yearns for at this time. And so how do you move from the 3D to the 5D? And it's not like you're gonna, at least not in this lifetime, but who knows? Anything is possible. The word ascension oftentimes is linked to this 5D realm. Like, I'm gonna ascend from the 3D to the 5D. And really, whenever I hear that word ascension, I think of Jesus, right? And this Christ consciousness. I was raised Catholic. I no longer practice Catholicism, but I believe that Jesus was pure love. And that picture of him with this heart on fire always stands out in my mind, because that's how his heart chakra was. It was on fire with love and compassion. Love for humanity, love for God, in the Bible, his Father, love for everyone and everything everywhere. And that's all he was just pure love. And so he ascended. And whether you believe it, like, yes, maybe that physically did happen. Maybe he physically ascended up into heaven, or maybe it was this giant shift in his consciousness, in his awareness, that ascended. And Jesus was an incredible person. He was like superhuman, right? And there used to be this belief that was only for him, when it's for all of us. We all have the ability to ascend, to elevate our consciousness, to move to a different vibration. And it is a choice. So you can choose to love. You can choose to be on fire with love. You can choose to be your passion and express and share your passion for life. This just came through. Like, Jesus's purpose was to have that experience and die on the cross. What is your purpose? I'm not saying you have to go be persecuted. But there is a purpose, there is a passion, there is a fire that's alive in your heart that wants to be expressed, that wants to be fulfilled. And the 3D way of being that's holding you down, the fear, the anxiety, the worry, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, what if people make fun of me, what if people laugh at me? I experienced all of that. I still do. But that fire in my heart is so strong that it propels me forward time after time after time again. I have these moments of thinking, maybe I should just give up. Maybe I should just go back to being, Dana from 10 years ago, and I'm just skiing and rock climbing all the time. And that life was amazing. But there's something within me that won't let me, stop. That keeps telling me, write your book, do the podcast, create posts on social media, share yourself with the world. That's what my passion is about right now, is about sharing about spirituality, about sharing about the metaphysical, about bringing magic and showing people how magical life can be when you believe it to be possible. So that's my passion. That's my cross. So, beautiful souls, there is a new adventure waiting for you. There's a new path that is pointing you forward, that is showing you the direction forward. And you know what it is. You know what it is. We create this confusion. Even though all the signs, if you ask somebody, if you could take one step forward today, what would it be? They would know what it is. Except we're I don't know if it's the right time. We just create all the excuses. And we create confusion. And it can, again, be hard to leave the comfort zone. And that's okay. That's part of the human experience. And if you feel content with your current human experience, that is beautiful as well. But if there is something, that fire burning within you that's calling you forward, if your dragon is awakening, your energy of passion, of magic, of wisdom, that's your dragon. If there's a passion burning inside of you, but you're ignoring it, you're tempering it, maybe it's your time. Maybe it's your time. And so how does this come all back to love? It comes back to love because it's time to radically love yourself. When you are so in love with yourself, you must move forward on your path. You must explore your purpose. And that's really something that I've come into more and more and more and more and more every single day. It's like the love that I have for myself keeps growing and keeps expanding more and more. And when you love yourself so much, the things that other people do that you don't agree with, it doesn't bother you so much anymore. You can look and feel love for other people who are wildly different from you, because you have so much love within yourself that you can give it to others. When you are scrolling through and watching the news, right, and you're seeing people screaming at each other and yelling at each other and angry and upset at each other and pushing other people away, right? I just always feel that's such a reflection of what's going on the inside. And I say that with love and compassion. But when we can't accept other people, it's because we're not accepting ourselves. When we can't love other people unconditionally, we cannot love ourselves unconditionally. And it's time. So how do you do that? We can say it all day. Love yourself, love yourself. Everything's going to be okay. Just love yourself. Yes, you can say that. The thinking mind can think it. But there's a feeling that needs to happen. The emotion of love needs to be fully embodied. Sometimes there's blocks in the heart chakra. Sometimes there's been traumas. Sometimes there's been things that make us push away love. And you have to go on your own journey. Here comes in that 5 essence again. You have to go on your own journey to find, how do I love myself again? Because you were brought into this world loving yourself. And somehow along the way, it got lost. And that's okay. That happened to me. Happens to many, many of us. And so you can start your journey. You can start this new adventure back to love, back to yourself, into the ascension, into 5D. You can start that journey. You can start it whenever you're ready. And I invite you to start it right now. Because now is the time. Now, in this year of 2026, it is the year of passion and fire. It is the year of doing for you. And doing for others is going to come in the coming years. But this year is about doing for you, lighting your heart on fire. Figuring out what your passion is, figuring out how to love yourself, because I can tell you all day long how I love myself, but your love for yourself is going to be different. And sometimes we need a guide or a mentor or extra support to understand that and to feel that. So it feels like this is all coming to culmination. Beautiful soul, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for going on this adventure with me through episode number 55, from the 3D to the 5D and bringing the 5D back down to the 3D. Ooh, that's what just came in. Like, maybe it's not about ascension and like floating around up in the ethers. Maybe it's bringing that energy down here to ground it into earth, bringing that love, that unity consciousness down to earth at this time. Thanks for tuning in, beautiful souls. You know where to find me. You can head to my website, danateresa.com. You can also check out my Instagram page at Dana Teresa Star. Tune in, give this episode a heart, give it a comment, tell me what resonated with you. And we're going to keep this high vibrational love consciousness, unity consciousness flowing. So have a wonderful day. Namaste.